your fear is only keeping you safe up until a certain point, and then after that point, it's kind of just holding you back. It's actually good to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations, because then you can make all these new connections and start to grow from pushing out of your comfort zone, so to say. Vanlife has basically been pushing me out of my comfort zone ever since I started, and I thought I'd make a video talking about it in case sharing my fears and how I process them help even just one person become friends with and process their own fear. So if you're new here, my name is Alana, and before I purchased the van that I'm sitting in now, I lived out of a Honda Accord for over 3 years. And when I say that out loud, it sounds pretty crazy, but at the time, it's what I was used to. It was my comfort zone. Even though the Honda Accord wasn't physically comfortable, it was my comfort zone in the sense that it was what I already knew. I knew how to drive it, I was very accustomed to it, and it was just what I had been doing, so it was much easier to stay in my comfort zone and not make any changes, because this is what was known, and any changes would be unknown, and that really scared me. It's not that I didn't want a van from the very beginning. I had been on Facebook Marketplace since March of basically 2022 looking at vans, and it took me so long to finally actually purchase one because I was so comfortable in what I already knew, in the familiar, and it took pushing past my comfort zone to even buy the van in the first place. And over the last 9 months now that I've been living in this van, I've begun to realize, along with the help of my boyfriend, other ways that fear has been holding me back as I've been living this quote-unquote fearless lifestyle. So to start, traveling for over 3 years in my Honda Accord, I did all of that alone. And while it's great to travel alone and discover things about yourself by traveling alone, and I highly recommend, I think traveling alone for so long conditioned me to always be on edge, always be fearful of my environment, always be fearful of the people around me, because I was a solo female and I didn't want to be caught off guard. And so it was very hard for me to relax in the Honda Accord traveling all by myself. And so now that I have my van and I'm traveling with my boyfriend, it's taken a lot of time to uncondition myself to be afraid of everything and just relax and actually enjoy the van that I have. Like, yes, there's a certain level of anxiety that's there to protect you, but I think traveling alone for so long, I just had such a heightened level of anxiety all the time that I never really recognized or acknowledged, that now that I'm traveling with someone, I'm like, oh, I can just relax. But I will also say there was a lot of fear leading into making that change from traveling alone to now traveling with a partner, because similar to how I had gotten comfortable living in the Honda Accord, I had also gotten comfortable traveling by myself, and that was what I was used to, that's what I was familiar with. And so I had to convince myself that it was okay to do things that were unfamiliar to me in order to grow and like now have this van and this amazing partner. And so when I look back at making those changes, I mean, I started dating my partner and bought my van all within like a month or two. And I think the catalyst for that and being able to be uncomfortable and be okay with that is the retreat that I hosted in October of last year. That, for me personally, was just an example to myself, like, I can do hard things, I can be uncomfortable and still be okay. Like, it was very uncomfortable for me to put myself in the shoes of the host and, like, call people into the forest and teach them yoga and, like, feel like I was worthy of doing that. But I think hosting that retreat for me and myself, I really felt like, okay, it's actually good to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations, because then you can make all these new connections and start to grow from pushing out of your comfort zone, so to say. So hosting the retreat was very much outside of my comfort zone, and in doing that, I taught my nervous system, hey, it's actually possible to do uncomfortable things. And after that, I was able to start dating my partner, buy my van, and travel on the road for the last 9 months. And I'm excited because I'm actually hosting this event again this October. There's still a few spots left, so if you're interested in joining us, you can find more information down in the description. But basically, I rent out a hip camp, which is 90 acres of property on a riverfront access where we camp together, do yoga, have sound healing meditations, breath work, nature-based therapy, and creative workshops, and a lot more. And just as this retreat was transformational for me in my life and helping me face my fears, I've also had feedback from people who came last year who have been through huge life changes since that retreat and are coming back again this year. And I'm just so excited to be able to form those connections with people where we not only come and hang out together one weekend, but also encourage each other to grow and flourish and like do the things that bring us joy without necessarily worrying or fearing about it being unknown or out of our comfort zone. It's just really cool to be able to like stay in contact with those people and like continue to see them apply that mindset to their life. So I'm rambling, but if you would like to join us October 2nd through the 5th, 2026, you can find the signups down in the description. Now, I'm excited for a second round of this retreat because as I settle into my van, as I've been living in it for the last 9 months, as I've been traveling with my partner, other fears have been starting to surface a lot more that I maybe wasn't even aware of and how they were affecting me. So the one that comes to mind and the one that inspired this video mostly is my fear of water. I'm from Arizona, so I'm not used to large bodies of water or rushing rivers, so to say. And so I generally, when I go to a lake or a river spot with friends, I'll like dip my toes in, I'll like sit my butt in, but I'm not usually the one to jump in the water. And my partner, he loves water. He could jump in and splish splash all day long. And so he was really trying to motivate me to jump into the river this one day. It was really hot. It sounded really nice. It was this nice deep swimming hole, at least like 10 feet deep, so I wasn't necessarily worried about hitting rock, but I just had so much fear built up around jumping into water because, again, it was uncertain. It's something that I really haven't done very much of since my swimming lesson days. And so I just didn't, I lacked confidence, so to say, and I really didn't want to do it, but at the same time, I was like, this is so silly, like, I'm hot and I want to jump in the river. And so the more that I was sitting and talking about it with my boyfriend, I had this realization. I was like, now that I think about it, he asked me, he was like, when was the last time you actually swam? Like, and when I thought about it, when I was a kid, my dad had this friend who lived in a complex that had a private pool, and so my dad's friend gave him a key that we could go access this pool whenever we wanted, and so we would go and be like the only ones at the pool. And I was remembering like packing an ice chest full of Lipton iced teas and just playing with pool toys all day long in the sun and just swimming around without a care in the world. And then it dawned on me, I was like, oh, you know what? I really don't think I've gone swimming since I was a kid, and I knew that my dad was sitting on the sidelines there to rescue me just in case. Like, him being there, like, mitigated all of my fears about being in water, and so I was okay with being in water. But then when it came to like traveling alone in my Honda Accord, I became very fearful of jumping in water because I was like, well, if something happens, like, I'm screwed. Which is also a logical thing to think. But now that I'm traveling with someone, I was like, actually, I don't need to let this fear hold me back from jumping into water. And so eventually after much convincing and multiple times counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and nothing happening, I eventually jumped into the river. And my goal this summer, as it's very hot and I'm around a lot of water, is to continue doing that and get more comfortable being in water and facing that fear, and again teaching my nervous system that it's okay to be uncomfortable for a minute because you'll be okay. I feel like I need to put an asterisk in here for like brain-eating amoeba and high elevation glacier runoff, as well as water temperatures that are super cold that can cause your body to go into shock. Like, there are logical things that go into this, but your fear is only keeping you safe up until a certain point, and then after that point, it's kind of just holding you back because it's just keeping you comfortable, even if you really want to jump in the river. So my goal for myself now, at this next retreat in October, there's a little dock where you can dive into the swimming hole at the river on the property, and I didn't jump in last year. I kept myself busy in the kitchen and didn't join people down at the river. But this year, I have a chef hired and squared away, so my goal for myself is to be present with the girls and hang out down by the river and actually jump in myself. And I think it's just a matter of positively reinforcing to myself that fear and the uncertainty and unknown and things outside of my comfort zone aren't bad, and retrain and recondition my nervous system to believe that it's actually okay to relax, even if you don't know everything that's coming next, even if you don't know how your life is going to be tomorrow. I don't think that you can face your fears, so to say, in a state of dysregulation in your nervous system. And although, yes, my partner has been very supportive in helping me regulate, it's also a task for me, myself, and I. And the things that I do to personally regulate myself are walking out in nature, doing yoga, meditation, breath work, things like that, in order to help regulate myself, in order to be able to enjoy my life. And I share all of these tools and tips that I have found through my personal practice on the Mind on Yoga, which is my yoga app. It's a virtual yoga studio with over 50 yoga classes, breathwork, and guided meditations, all designed to help you begin to relax your nervous system so that you can face your fears. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I will leave a link down in the description where you can get a free 7-day trial to look around the app and try it for free before signing up. So I guess the moral of my story here is everybody has some level of fear. Nobody's fearless unless you have a damaged amygdala. And so when you see people online living these crazy lives and doing all these things that you think to yourself, oh, I'm too afraid to do that, just remember that they were probably afraid of it too. And it took a lot of courage and having a regulated nervous system in order to be able to face that fear, step into the uncertainty, step out of the comfort zone, so to say, and do these cool things like live in a van. I would love to open the discussion about this topic in the comments, so if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I would love to hear your takeaways, your thoughts, your experience with fear down in the description, and I will be responding to everybody in the comments. And if you enjoyed this style of video, make sure to show me by leaving your thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you're notified next time I upload a video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!